Voice of the nation's fast break. The drama continues in Lakerland as a guy that has spent 7 seasons with the Lakers, helped win 2 titles. The 6th man of the year, Lamar Odom, has been traded to the Dallas Mavericks. The Lakers trade their 2nd-round draft pick in 2012, and they get a 1st-round pick in 2012, along with a $8.9 million trade exception. They trade him to the team that just thumped him in the 1st round and swept them. I'm David Brickley alongside Jason Rowley and Kevin Figures, and we are talking Lakers basketball. Kevin, Lamar Odom is a Dallas Maverick. How weird does that sound?
It's odd, especially considering how last season ended. They talked about how they want to come back with a vengeance and come back and defeat the Mavs.
As Kobe's been saying.
Exactly. Of all teams to trade them to, a rival of yours, a team that you want to come back and get redemption against. I understand, maybe this is a precursor. I'm hoping this is a precursor to another move because on the surface, it makes absolutely no sense to make this trade and get nothing in return except for a trade exception.
It's not a precursor because here's my theory on what went down with the Lamar Odom deal.
Okay.
Is the CP3 thing breaks apart, right? Lamar's upset. Him and his agent, they storm into the Lakers office. They find Jim Buss. They find Mitch Kupchak, and they corner these guys. Jim Buss, being the insecure, inexperienced guy we already know he is, takes it all personal. He's offended, and he's like, let's ship this guy out. I don't care what we have to do. Let's get him out at first opportunity. And less than 8 hours later, Lamar Odom is a Dallas Maverick.
Well, Mitch Kupchak met with the media on Monday. He said Lamar was sent to Dallas because he requested to be traded. So when the whole New Orleans thing went down, and he pretty much got traded, it was 99.9% sealed, signed, and delivered. And then, of course, David Stern comes down and vetoes the whole thing. Lamar was so crushed by it and so PO'd by it, I don't want to be a part of this team. I'm not going to emotionally recover from this. Even Mitch Kupchak said he's an emotional player. If any player would have a tough time, forgetting that happened and moving along, it'd be Lamar Odom. So Lamar Odom, you're right, he did request a trade. The thing you got to think is the Lakers get that trade exception and a draft pick so they could package that to maybe go get a Dwight Howard. I mean, that's the logic of it. There's no way you could dump salary a guy that was that vital, this Laker team, when the Lakers only have 2 or 3 years left of that championship window.
And that's the only reason why I think they made this specific trade. The Mavericks were able to make this trade with the exception because they traded Tyson Chandler to the New York Knicks. That's where the exception came from. Now, if the Lakers they could have sat on Lamar Odom if they wanted to. If Odom wanted to pout and go home.
Mitch did say they didn't want players. They didn't want to bring on contracts. They wanted to free up cash so they could make a deal.
If you bring in contracts, if you trade, let's say, hypothetically, for like Andre Iguodala, who has 3 more years on his contract with bad money, if you're trying to make a trade with Orlando, they're not going to take that contract back.
Correct.
So if this is indeed a precursor to another move, it's actually pretty smart to get at least free money that you can send to Orlando to get Dwight Howard.
These are all really reasonable and really logical
but you're saying
arguments
we're being too reasonable here
you guys are making. What about the NBA in the last 6 months
makes a great point.
Has been reasonable or logical at all? We got David Stern vetoing trades. We have the whole CP3 situation. We have Lamar Odom, the glue guy, going to the team that swept us out of the playoffs,
he
like
was
you talked about.
An emotional leader.
8 hours after the trade was nixed for a second time by David Stern. Tell me that wasn't an emotional reaction. Tell me that there was so much thought by Mitch Kupchak and Jim Buss that went into that. They didn't have time to think about it. It was an emotional reaction, in my opinion, that sent Lamar Odom to the Dallas Mavericks. And nothing else was in the works at the time that they made that deal.
Being at Media Day on Sunday morning, guys, Kobe Bryant not happy at all. He said, I quote, to be honest with you, I don't like it. It's tough to lose Lamar. Powell is still here, and we're all thankful for that. Derek Fisher was very upset. All the guys, they love Lamar. And here's my argument. They didn't get anything tangible, like you were talking about. If the Lakers get Andre Iguodala, then when you're walking around a media day, God, it's tough for Lamar Odom to be gone, but at least we got Andre, which is a guy that could help us towards the future. You don't see a trade exception.
Right.
You can't see a draft pick. All they see is their friend, a teammate of 7 years that posted 15 points, 9 boards, and 4 assists over his career. Gone, vanished.
Yep.
And that's why I think it's hit the Lakers, and these guys are being vocal, especially Kobe Bryant, how he doesn't agree with this deal at all.
Sure, you see a giant void on that bench. Lamar Odom, for all intents and purposes, has been the Lakers bench the last couple of years. Like you said, 6th man of the year last year, could come in and start at a moment's notice, can play 3 or 4 different positions for them. People kind of and Lamar Odom has been criticized throughout his entire career for being inconsistent or what have you. He is one of the best players, versatile players in the NBA when he's on.
But what's more inconsistent, Lamar Odom or nothing?
Exactly, and that's the point.
And nothing gets you nothing. Lamar Odom gives you something.
But my counterpoint to that is Jim Buss, as we know, has kind of taken over basketball operations. especially with Jerry being hospitalized. And that
I
whole
just love
situation.
Jason Raleigh. He's a huge Jim
I'm
Buss
all
fan.
over Jim Buss.
Always
great
has
job.
been.
And now, Jim Buss, I can guarantee you pretty much that he has no understanding of chemistry in a locker room. He has no understanding of the importance of Lamar Odom's role on the team in that regard. So when he comes storming into his office all upset and demanding to be traded, he doesn't see Odom the way we see him.
Well, here's what Mitch Kupchak said. If we can figure out a way to improve this team, we will do it. There's no guarantees that anyone will be here with the exception of Kobe because he has a no-trade clause. And he also said, we're looking at making big deals. So the chemistry, you got a new head coach. You got guys that are looking around their shoulder wondering if they're going to be shipped out. Something has to be done soon.
Right.
Or this is going to go into a season which you don't have a lot of time to get ready. You have 66 games. I mean, It's going to be quick. You're going to have 3 games right out of the gate. You can't have players PO'd because Lamar is gone. Players thinking they're going to be shipped out, in 24 hours or less. They're going to need to make this quote-unquote big move and make it quick, or they need to sign a guy or trade for a guy that could at least do something similar to what Lamar Odom did for him last year.
And like you said, there's just too much uncertainty going on. Like I said, you can't have guys looking over their shoulder constantly, and that's the issue when you have a team with a brand new head coach. You really don't know what approach he's going to take with this whole thing. He's been very diplomatic about the entire situation, trying to take things in stride, but it's kind of a new situation for him. He's learning the players around him, yet he doesn't even know what players are going to be there.
Right. Even Bynum said, "If I'm here,
If
I'm here." He kept on saying
everybody.
that during
And for Mitch to actually come out and be quoted as saying, Kobe's the only untouchable, basically. I mean, how does that make you feel if you're somebody else in that roster? It's like, well, I'm out here practicing, but I might not be here tomorrow.
Yeah, and from a fan perspective, you look at it and you say, yeah, I'm really sad. I'm upset that Lamar Odom's gone. I don't understand the trade. That sadness and that sense of being upset will quickly turn to anger if the Lakers don't make a move here before the regular season starts.
And the only thing that I could, you could hang your hat on is the Lakers have always, went for the championships rather than saving money.
Right.
So again, like you said, I mean, you make a good argument that logic hasn't really been at the forefront here. But you have to agree that Kobe only has 2 or 3 years left. This Lakers championship window is rapidly closing. This is not the time to save salary.
No.
So they had to do this in order to put them in a better position to win a title because they thought the current core group wasn't going to get it done.
But this is also not a time to take one of your key guys and 8 hours after he asked for a trade, you trade him.
Unless know there's something
And Kobe said
bigger
they
down
sure
the
didn't
road.
listen to me when I requested a trade.
Exactly.
Not sure why
Figures
they
makes a
listened to
great
Lamar.
point. Unless there's something bigger down the road. That's the big question in all of this.
Well,
If there's
which
not
to
something
me-
bigger down the road, wow.
And like I'm saying, if Odom just wanted to simply be shipped out, the Lakers would have taken their time to find something. If Odom wanted to sit at home and pout, they would have let him do that. They got the trade exception
And
because
I
they
think
knew.
they know that time's of the essence here because if they, lag on this, then maybe Dwight signs with New Jersey or what have you. But
Or maybe they lose their leverage and that they'll be forced to trade Odom somewhere and they'll get less compensation back no matter where they
exactly.
send
So
him.
let's turn over to Laker Nation. Do you think the Los Angeles Lakers did this move in order to get a bigger piece like Dwight Howard, or unfortunately is it simply just a salary dump? And like Jason said, Jim Buss is just running this franchise into the ground. Who knows? But make sure to comment below, subscribe to this channel, and like this video. For Voice of Nation Fast Break, alongside Kevin Figures and Jason Raleigh, my name is David Brickley.